Fireside chat. Except we're gonna roam around a little bit because I'm pretending I'm Stormcloudsgathering. But it is really extra nice out. After negative 22 and negative 11 and negative 13 and negative 10 degrees feels really nice. It's like really nice. So normally I wouldn't even be outdoors unless it was plus 11, but it's plus 12 at the house, so I knew that I was taking a chance here. Oh, okay, it's a whole lot more cold over here. We'll go walk back in front of the fire, because this is a fireside chat, right? This is what we're talking about today. Vermont. Now, the governor race between Shumlin and Milne was so tight with the popular vote, which is the populist vote, that they decided, as opposed to a recount, they would give it to the state senate. Now, each county is represented by 2 people. Now, this place, Orange County, is represented by, I'm naming names, Patsy French and Marjorie Ryerson. Now, in this county, we upvoted Milne. I do have a personal stake in this. My grandmother taught Milne's children how to read and write. And I think they learned how to write before they learned how to even read what they were writing. So what she did was, whenever they said a word, she'd repeat the word back to them, and then she would write the word and have them write it, and then have them say it. Not to brag, but I'm bragging. So that's my family history. And so these 2 women, Patsy is a girl, or a woman, a female, a gal. But at this particular point, I'm half ready to call them chicas, which is derogatory, by the way, 2 squaws. Despite having the representative seats for Orange County, voted in, both of them, in contradiction, and we were more than 50%, by the way. So if it was like 50-50, then one could vote for one and one could vote for the other, and they would have to hash out those details. But Milne was supported by a margin. But when these women went and voted, who did they vote for? They voted for Shumlin. They voted their party. They did not vote the populace. Now, as I understand it, representative democracy is a little different than representative republic. Excuse me, wow. Where, because in a republic, those people are leaders, and in a democracy, those people are just the public servants. So, in essence, democracy does make more sense, representative democracy does make more sense, if you're going on popular vote. But I don't believe in that. I believe in leadership. Now, however, these people are professing Democrats, which means they have proclaimed that they will represent their constituency, which, in this particular case, overwhelmingly, right, more than 50%, voted for somebody other than who they voted for. So I say they need to change parties, in which case they'd vote different, or resign for perjury, because they lied to us. They said, we're going to represent you, and they did not. Now, I've already talked to the store down the corner, and so Bob had put their personal phone numbers up, because when the cigarette tax went up, the cigarette company said, if you disagree with this, you should contact your representative, your local representative. So Bob, when the cigarette tax went up, put their phone numbers out on the counter and said, if you don't like this, call these people, because he was tired of getting the complaints at the store. Well, and that's what government's job is to field complaints. I could be wrong. Maybe the government's job is a whole lot different than that, and I'm massively ignorant. But on that token, so finally one of them went inside to a store and I guess raised a little bit of frozen flames. And so at that particular point, he respected them as a private person and took down their number, right? And then I talked to Jack, another man in my town, who is probably one of the top 10 landowners in my town, in the surrounding towns, because I'm in a village, not just a town. And so there's Randolph, and there's South Randolph, and there's East Randolph. There's probably a North Randolph, but I don't know where that is. And he too was outraged. Plus I talked to a guy on my street, and he too was outraged. Now, all these men, except for Bob, are quite a bit older, and, you know, so they're used to rolling with the punches. You know, they just chuckle at the vagaries of government, because it's not affecting them too much, you know. And then, on the way home, I talked to a lady at the newspaper, and I was like, hey, yo, this is just what happened. You know, I think this would be a great expose, because she did an article about me a couple years ago, which is cool. And she did a great article on me, you know, so I'm prejudiced toward her. And, you know, there's no pork involved here. But she thought that was something that was better left at the end of a 10-foot pole. She's like, well, what you could do is write a letter to the editor. And I'm like, yeah, but I'm probably gonna be calling for revolution. So, as opposed to the 3,000 people that get the newspaper, I'm gonna go on the 6,000 views I get a month and talk right to you. Yeah, I know, you're like, 6,000 views a month. Goodness gracious, dude. You don't do anything except read the Bible by your fire until it's spring, and then you have some activity. But I thought, you know, there's only so many people who get the paper, and there's so many other people out there in the world that may not understand what's going on in their own local government. I fortunately have an insider, so that's pretty nice. My dad will remain unnamed. So I happen to know the reality of many things, because he's all detective novel fan, you know, so just the facts. When he tells me these things. So we know for a fact that they did not represent us. Is that not the point of impeachment? So I guess for 10 minutes, my question is that. I guess cherish is the new love. But these people obviously are not cherishing their constituents. They're just outright abusing us. You know? That's abuse. Be well.